welcome to Perth Watch, your horology channel broadcasting from right here in Perth, Western Australia. Today I have the second piece from Mitch Mason watches. Now, Mitch Mason released a Chronicle last year, and I think it was probably my favorite micro brand piece of the year and probably one of the best from 2020. And it will, I think, remain in my collection for good or for a very long time. Today's piece is their second piece, and they have gone for a dive watch style. And I think they might be onto a winner. So, it comes in their packaging, which is here. Without further ado, guys, let's flip it around and take a closer look at today's piece. Alright guys, so here we have the Mitch Mason box on the table here. Nice kind of gloss relief there. Just a cardboard box, otherwise in black. Spinability, I think the balance is surprising here. This actually spins very well, at least a 4 out of 5 here. Now let's open this up and show you what's inside. And what we have is the, actually besides the box and watch roll, they've actually given some extra links and bracelets. For me, that's not, of course, going to be in production. That's because of this influencer package that I need to swap out. So, nice faux aged leather watch roll with the Mitch Mason M here. This doesn't really spin in any way, really. It doesn't really roll either, actually, because of the bumpiness. But anyway, that's really what this is, and appreciate that it is actually a functional watch roll because they've given more than one space for the watch. I guess you would keep the spare links somewhere here, but you could actually remove everything and put 3 watches in here if you wish. Okay, so let's just put that aside, release that, and show you guys this particular piece in closer detail. So guys, this is the Mitch Mason Maelstrom diver. This is what this is. The Kickstarter will be, I think, going on in October, but I'm going to aim to release this video a little bit earlier as per my agreement with Mitch Mason. Now, the launch early bird price will be $449 USD. That's what I've been informed, but the full retail is actually listed at $599 USD. I guess the conversation will be more around the $450 range in realistic terms here. In terms of color variations, this is what they call the Marimo green. Take or leave the Marimo. Some people don't really care for the color nicknames, but it is definitely a green color. And now, of course, they have the other, I guess, more routine or conventional colors, black, blue. They also have a slate gray available. Check out the the Kickstarter or the website for more information if you wish. Right. Guys, as usual, movement next up. I'm not going to spend too much time. It's got the 9015, as you might expect from Mitch Mason. Perfectly good movement. In this case, the accuracy has been performing about plus 6 seconds per day, which is perfectly fine for me in this prototype that they've sent out. The quick set date is on the 6 o'clock position, and pleasingly, they've changed out the date wheel for light colored. In fact, it's got that Fotina color date on a dark colored wheel, and in this case, actually a color matched date wheel, which is excellent. That is really kudos to them for putting in a color matched date wheel. Hardly any micro brands have done that in my experience. Right, moving on to the overall case stand. So what we have here, guys, is a 40mm case. So the diameter here is 40 millimeters, but the bezel itself is smaller than that. You can appreciate that the bezel is actually smaller diameter at 38.5 millimeters. That actual bezel bit there. 12.5 millimeter thickness, which is pleasingly slim. For a 300 meter diver, pleasingly slim. I think 20 millimeter lug width and 47 millimeter lug to lug distance between my thumbs there, and also another bonus drill lugs like this. They've actually given quick release spring bars here, but no complaints whatever. They've given drill lugs because that does add functionality when you might swap this out for other straps or NATOs or what have you. Adjusted weight with the few links that I've removed is 145 grams here. Finishing wise, okay, so circular brushing on the bezel, you can see that quite clearly. Longitudinal brushing on the top surface of the lugs, as well as the side of the case. The bottom surface is actually circular brushed. Hopefully that's appreciable there. But they do have a pretty nicely polished bevel there. Sorry, it's got a bit of smudging there, but yeah, that's a nice polished bevel. Very nicely done, nicely executed polished bevel that curves down with the down curving of the lugs, which is another pleasing feature, I think, of this particular watch here. Right, case back, you've seen that as I panned it, it is absolutely, I think, beautiful. One of the best microgram case backs I've ever seen. So screw down solid case back with a deep stamp of that Mitch Mason Maelstrom motif, which is a blue whale diving through the waters. Presumably that is a maelstrom that great mammal is fishing through, and that's really nicely relieved there. So screw down case back, screw down double sign crowns, for this compressor diver style. Equates to a 300-meter water rating watch that they've gone for here. Okay, on to the dial now. So what we have here, sunburst green with printed details and chapter ring around the periphery, pinted or loomed bezel details around the flange, or what is effectively that internal rotating bezel. It's got sandwich compass numerals, in this case four compass points, 3, 9 and 12. There's no 6 because of the date window there. Nicely done compass numerals as well. The hands are polished. So you're getting that Mitch Mason knot pattern hour hand. That's what they're trying to call that now. It's got a baton minute and it's got an arrow for the seconds hand. Loom on all the usual spots that you might expect, including full bezel loom. And of course, guys, I'm going to show a loom shot right here for you guys to appreciate how it looks in the dark. And it glows pretty darn well. Definitely glows all the way through the night in my experience. Okay, now surrounding that dial is that internal, crown locked dive style flange. Okay, so I'm just going to show that to you guys now. So if you've seen this compressor diver style, you unlock it and then it spins. One concern I have is that it's actually I guess loosely speaking you can get the position you want, but if you want to be obsessive about exactly where it is, it's not I guess it might drive you nuts, because it's it takes some time to align that perfectly in the 12, and in fact I probably haven't done that perfectly, but that's how that internal bezel functions. It feels pretty nice, I think, in this case. On top of all that is a lightly domed sapphire. So it is domed but lightly, which I don't mind. It's got an internal anti-reflective coating which has been applied here, and I guess they will improve that for the production. This one actually does function, but I think it could do with a few more passes. Now, differences on production. They've given me this kind of handout here to hopefully just summarize it for you guys, right? So you can see the hour hand will be shortened. It is a little bit long. I actually think the minute hand can be slightly shorter as well, to point more obviously at the track rather than over the track, the chapter ring. Apparently the loom is not as thick here, so they will improve the loom application. I think it's actually all right already. And they talk about being more consistent cream color throughout. I actually, to my eyes anyway, it seems perfectly fine as it is. They say the date will be loomed, which will be a great bonus. I do like that move to feature that. I don't see that in many micro brands. And then just some other changes on the case back that you can see there, which are probably less important. Okay, now moving on to the bracelet then. So what we have here is brush H-link, longitudinal brush H-link style. There is a polish bevel, matching that of the case, along the side of the bracelet here. Solid end links with quick release spring bars that you've seen already. They do come with screw adjustment. You can hopefully see that. It's actually tiny screws to adjust the links here, which is nice. Tapers to 16 millimeters from 20, and then this clasp is 19 millimeter wide. Push button release. It is a machine clasp, pretty, I guess fairly done. No major complaints with this clasp. It's got 6-point micro adjust which is nice to have rather than just 3 or 4. Right, so that's the entire description, guys. Let's snap it on the wrist for a wrist shot for you now. And so there we go, Mitch Mason Maelstrom in Marimo green on my 17cm wrist. Fits perfectly well thanks to, very reasonable size of 40mm, only 47mm on lug to lug and under 13mm thickness. That's how it looks like. Okay, all right, so that's the entire description of the watch here. What have I enjoyed about this? Well, look, I think it's another well done vintage inspired piece here. I think they've, as per their first piece of Chronicle, very thoughtful in design. It's a compressor style, not a true compressor diver, but compressor diver style. It is broadly versatile thanks to the fact that it's 40mm case, and it does curve down very nicely to sit on the wrist, and that's really nice that they've done that. It's got modern functionality, right? Despite the vintage inspired thing, it's got the large crowns, which makes it very easy to adjust these things. It's got drilled lugs, great functionality there. Sapphire crystal, great water resistance, very good lume already, and apparently they're going to improve that further. And it's got the accuracy and the performance of the 9015, so no complaints about any of that. Very, very fair at the asking price, at least the initial asking price of 450, I think. The case is great. I really like this. It's thin, yet they've gone for that broken side profile with that case back and bezel, and the side there breaking it up to make up that thickness of still under 13mm, like those arching lugs. Slightly domed crystal. Sandwich lume is a bonus, at least for those compass numerals, even if it's not true sandwich. And it's got a color match date wheel, and another bonus, a fantastic deep stamp case back. So many good things, I think, to like about this piece. What are the weaknesses? What gripes would I possibly have about this? Well, look, it is another diver, right? But I think this one is different to the usual outer bezel divers, Submariner style look. And I reckon it is just well done. A lot of good things about this piece. So there you go, guys. That's my thoughts about this piece. Let's flip it around now for the wrap up. So there you go, guys, my review of the Maelstrom. Let me know what you think about this piece. I think there is a lot of positive about it, a lot to like. What kind of person might go for this? I reckon if you want a micro brand diver, you want something different, something that is very well made, a lot of thought that has gone into the design, this might be the piece for you. Now, at the price that it's going for, it's not at the sharpest end of the value proposition, but hey, it is original, so I think it is fair enough that there is a little bit of premium for the design that's gone into it. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Always enjoy hearing the comments and seeing the discussion that ensues. Guys, if you enjoy my videos, do consider subscribing. New content every week, always aiming to be objective and unbiased about all things horology. Thank you again for sticking with me, and as always, I'll catch you guys again next time.